how was the last quiz?
Brutal.
What do you like? Don't worry about the 40 marks. I think grades will be fine as long as you answered 2 of the 4.
Oh, okay.
So you'll be grades will be for the quiz. And for the midterm, I think you should solve all the assignments and focus on the questions that will be showing up here. And also try to create the slides from where questions were made. Okay, so let's take a look at these questions. I will suggest you to take the pictures. Also try to write down everything I write on the board. Try to understand how to solve this question, what's the catch in this question, and if you understand this question, you'll be fine in the midterm.
You said you are sending these out?
No.
Oh, okay.
Just capture all the slides. Given one continuous function, continuous signal, and it is sampled under some conditions, and we are to find out the sampling frequency when we are given the sample frequency. We are to find out the frequency of the discrete signal. So there's two things. One is the frequency of the continuous function, and one is the frequency of the discrete function. Two different things. So I think we solved similar questions before the first quiz. That these are two separate things. One is for this function that we were given xt sine of 4 pi t. So here, this is our angular frequency, right? So the common term for sinusoidal is sine omega t or omega t. So if we compare, we see this is our omega, so this is our angular frequency. Now it is sampled under some specific frequency, and we have to find out what is the frequency now. So it's pretty simple. We know when we are converting our continuous to discrete, we just put in omega t, something like that. So what is our omega here? Omega is 2 pi 8. So it is continuous. For discrete, I think omega should be something like 2 pi 8 n, right? This is our sampling frequency. So Hs is actually 1 by S. So we are given that Hs is 2. So you know the rest. So our omega c for first question, omega c were given 4 radians per second. We are given we need to calculate Ts, and our discrete frequency will be just the omega and Ts at lecture too slides. So try to and it's same for the second question as well. So the main catch is in this equation, the discrete frequency and the continuous frequency. Just have to like multiply these two to get the discrete frequency here. So this is the catch in this question. So let's go to the next question. So we were given one signal, sample signal from the continuous signal, where f is equals to 5 Hz and the sampling interval is like this is the sampling frequency. So what's the value of x of 256? Let's try to do this. Let's try to solve this question. I think it's easier. We are given one continuous function and we are sampling it to get the discrete function. Just the t becomes nt, where n is the index number and t is the sampling time. So in this equation, everything was given. I think f is given as 5. The value of n is 256, and t is I think 0.01. If you put everything here, we'll get the answer. Just put by 20, put everything, and we get the answers. If you put it like this in the quiz, it will also be fine. You just don't have to put in the calculator and get the number. Just show me that you know how to do it, and you will get the full marks. And I think in this midterm there will be a lot of questions. So try to touch every questions and not spend times on calculating the value of this cost function.
Yeah. How many test questions is going to be?
I think 10 to 12.
They have multiple steps in them.
Yeah.
Why are you switching the cosine to sine?
Hmm?
Why are you converting the cosine to sine? Isn't that the good solving?
Is this a group text?
I'm converting cos into sine.
I mean, on the question it says cosine, but on the answer you have sine.
Oh, it's similar, like same.
Just the same.
Yeah, same. Oh, I have written something wrong. It's simply cos in the board. Okay, so this question. So we are to find out whether our signals are periodic or non-periodic. These are all discrete signals. If all of these were continuous signals, we know all of these are continuous, but this is discrete, so we have to find out whether these functions are periodic or not. The basic here is for any cosine or sine. If this k is an integer, we will always get the sine x, right? Like if it were x. So why is that? Because after every 2 pi, it repeats itself. Sine and cos, both of them are same. After every 2 pi, it repeats itself. So if we can put k here and k is an integer, so we know like if the k can be anything like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it also always become the same function. So we know that it becomes an integer if we can write this equation like this. So it's same in this discrete function. We have to find out some k so that our f is rational. how, like, I have done here with a very shortcut. So what we do actually to save time is so this is our omega, right? So if we can write n to 2 pi by omega in k, and we put the omega here. If we put the omega here, we get 2 pi by 5 pi into 9 into k. So we have to figure out if there exists any k for which this n becomes rational. So what is the value of k that makes n rational? Like, can anyone tell? What should be the value of k that makes n rational? Yep, so if we would get 5, so it goes to 18. So this, so we have to, like, maybe remember this formula to. Is this function periodic or not periodic?
Not periodic, it's linear.
Linear, but it is periodic?
No,
Why?
it doesn't repeat.
It's a line.
But it repeats, right?
DC. Oh, well.
It does
It's
repeat.
an offset.
But this period is infinity because it's DC.
Or 0 maybe.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
every, at every instant it's repeating itself. Like irrespective of the periodic, like the
Oh, yeah.
t, it's always periodic, right? Because it repeats itself.
Okay. So we're defining that to be periodic. Okay.
What about this function?
Ooh.
Is it
Base
periodic?
formula. So n squared times.
No, no. Log is a periodic function. Any log, any exponential functions, that is not periodic. But if there is like any value, just it's periodic. Some summation of some value.
Amplitude is 1.
Yep, maybe one. Also, we can use Euler formula.
That's what I was thinking was.
So the value actually, we have to find out the summation. 3 by 4. 0 to 5, right? This is a very easy question. Just you know this sum of the geometry series. This function. Also, you can put it like that way. That I have, if you don't know this formula, it will also be fine. But try to use the formula and try to figure out the value here. want you guys to solve these questions because there will be questions like this, but much more harder in the midterm.
Are you serious? Well, he can.
I have a question about the
This is like where you like figure out which problems you first. That's, you sift through the papers. Yeah. Oh. I'm gonna draw that on the test.
You have to shred it.
So can anyone tell me what will be the n here, y of n here? We are given the input, the impulse response. What should be the output?
45 sine.
35?
35 sine.
Yeah.
No. N minus 5.
Sure?
Are you sure?
Sure about that?
Andrew?
No, I'm not.
He's not sure, I'll vouch for it, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
I'm sure, I'll vouch for it.
Yeah.
No, I know it's
That's
right.
fine. This is the shifting property, so we are to use the property here to solve the question. So what about, this is not sine, it's just 5 of delta n minus 7. So what should be the y of n now?
5 delta n minus 30 n minus 12.
So we'll use this property here. We are given h of n, the summation of delta functions. Our x of n is 7 delta. And what is the h of n? H of n is actually
4 delta.
4 delta
Oh, man, general.
minus 2 of
I was making a cake one time. Actually, that was
So what should be the output? So this is our answer. Let's try to remember the shifting property. I think there will be one question related to this. This is the answer.
I barely see you in this picture.
Okay, try this question.
summation K, it's in equals negative infinity, or does that say K or N?
I think it's I think isn't it N?
K.
If it's any, you have to use K%.
K. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Should be hands up.
Yeah, I think those ends are K's. So. In the summation. Or like in the summation, I think it's supposed to be three-fourths to the K U of K.
Yeah.
Here?
Yeah, K and K. So that's
U
all.
of K.
That's H of K.
Yeah. And then now
Should be U of K.
so then so now when you're plugging in Y two, should be
So it would be 0 to 2, 3 by 4 to the power K, right? So 0, 1 and 2.
The geometries.
it's a sheet.
Do we have to put the unit step there? Don't we have to put the unit step after that?
So here's the catch. So for unit step, the value is actually 1, right? And this is the shifted version. So this is the step for this, and for this is the opposite of that. The value remains 1. So when we multiply both of them and sum it up, it actually cancels because the value is 1. So we plug in the equation, plug in all the functions here, and the catch is this u of k and u of n minus k. This is just one unit step, and one other is shifted unit step. Both of them multiplied, it gives us 1, value of 1. So we can cancel this out here and just compute the y of 2. So you can like this. Like if you put it like this in the exam, you'll be given full marks. You don't have to copy it all the way into waste your time. So let's go to the next question. So next question, we are given one difference equation, and we are given one homogeneous solution, and we have to compute the scale factor omega of n. one homogeneous solution. So for that, we know for input solution there is no input, so this becomes 0. And we have to change this one solution of the equation. We can put our solution to our equation, and it will satisfy our equation. So that is lambda to the power n minus 3. What should be here?
Lambda n minus 1.
How do we solve this equation?
Figure out lambda n minus 1.
So what should be here?
Lambda minus 3.
Wow.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Why are we looking for lambda equals 3, just lambda equals 3, instead of like lambda is 0? Because it says n is greater than equal to 1, then we don't have to worry about the denominator being 0. Well, because like lambda n minus 1 is like 1.
It is given, right? Lambda is greater than 0.
Greater than 1. Oh, sorry. N is greater than 1. Why are we just looking for like the one solution rather than like lambda equals 0 or something?
Okay, let's see. Let's see. Lambda equals 0. I think it's lambda is equal to 0, it gives us nothing.
Yeah, you're right.
Right?
Depends, always greater than one, lambda can be.
Yeah, because the denominator is 0.
So what was the next line? We were given one solution that is k u of n. So we can put it here. K u of n plus 5k u of n minus 1 plus 6k u of n minus 2. Since it is, I think, particular solution, we cannot cancel the input x, so it will be here. So what can we do after this?
It says n greater than equal to 2, so you can make all the unit steps 1.
Yeah, since we are given n is equal greater than equal to 2, so our unit steps becomes 1. So it becomes k plus 5k. This is minus. So the catch is for n is greater than equal to 2, the step function becomes 1 for all terms. So the equation simplifies to this term and we can come with the value k. Just remember for the particular solution, it accounts for the effect of the forcing function of the input function. Okay, so let's, I think this is the easiest question we can right here.
Yes.
So number one is it causal.
Yes.
Yes, it's called.
Okay. So if in the question there is no justification, don't give the justification. Just say causal or non-causal. So for one, it's causal, clearly. For two, it's non-causal. Okay,
Yeah.
you are correct.
So,
And for this one, is it stable?
Yes, approaching zero. Yeah, compared to zero.
Yeah, stable. What about two?
I don't know. To the nth power?
Negative.
Yeah, that's kind of
It's kind of stuff.
I think this guy's mentally unstable.
Wait, to the negative.
Is stable.
This means it's, yeah. Why?
Yeah.
Increases in
To the negative.
So use negative, is like
Yeah, but it's just a flip. It's going to approach negative
What if n is 0?
because it's just multiplying every value by
But you're
negative.
not flipping three to a
You're flipping.
You're flipping the unit step.
Exactly.
That just doesn't exist above zero. So it's gonna be increasing.
It's only negative values. Right?
Exponentially.
It's going to exponentially decrease.
Being multiplied by
It's gonna decay to 0.
No, it'll
I shut it down. Justin feels pretty comfortable. I think he might be right.
So is this absolute summable?
Good question.
So it goes
Kinda lost now. I don't know if I'm right or wrong.
You just do like three.
Base is only the negative
You
values.
can just do the geometric.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Because then it's a.
Negative
But no, that's fractional. Actually.
Yeah, which is always.
But it's not fractional though. It'd be negative.
It's fractional. Well, it's the same. Fraction is basically.
What is 3 to the negative 9?
It's 1 over 3 to the 9.
Yeah.
Why
Is
it
this
one?
correct?
Uh,
From this, is this correct?
Yeah.
Correct, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, you're right. Makes sense. 0.
So what happens, this is n, right? What happens if you flip the summation sign?
It becomes 3 negative values. Because you place that. Negative.
Or we can assume,
Maryland.
let's assume negative n is equal to k. Let's assume negative n is equal to k. So our terms become, so if this is, we can assume this. So for n equal to 0, k is equal to 0. For n equals to negative infinity, k becomes positive infinity, right? So the term becomes n equals to negative infinity. 0, 3 to the power k, and if we flip the summation sign, it becomes 3 to the power negative of k. 0 to infinity. Is this summable? It is summable, right? So it's stable.
I would've got it wrong. Negative
non-causal, and for this it is stable. And for number two,
He didn't say that, but that's
it's also stable, but we have to justify. We justify it just by putting the value here.
this class.
Justification needed to prove somehow. If there is no justification needed, you don't have to prove anything.
So, please.
Okay, try this one. I think this is the easiest question. On the scale of 1 to 10, if it's 7, you will get 8. But for the quiz, it was 5 to 10.
So how stable will the test be?
Just round it. Becomes n minus 4. So we have to plug in from n equals to 0 to 5. So what happens if we plug in 0?
3 to negative 4th.
Why is 0? U 0 minus 4, U of negative 4 is 0?
Yeah.
Sure?
Sure about it?
Okay, what should be the value here?
Just the 5th value, right?
We know 2 dot 3 to the minus. What is the value here?
Sarah. Sarah.
Zero?
Yes.
Yeah, 0. What is y of 1?
0.
Y of 2?
0.
Y of 3?
0 times 3.
Y of 4?
0 times u of 0. 2. Interesting. Oh, because u of 0 is 1.
What is the y of 4? So if we plot this, u of n minus 4 is so for 4 our value is 1, so it becomes a 1. This is 0, 1, 6. And for y of 5, 2 into 3 for 1 into 1. Also 6. Oh no, sorry.
Oh, that's right. The first one is just 2 because 3 to the 0. That's not Andy broken.
That's what you told me.
So what's up there?
And I think it will suffice for the midterm. Thank you everyone.